What is happening, everybody?
Hello, hello.
Hello, happy Sunday from Las Vegas. It is actually sunny this week. It's warming up.
I know.
It was really cold again this week, and then now it's going to be like mid 70s. It's mid 70s today. Tomorrow's going to go into the 80s, and then by the end of the week, we're in the 90s.
Wednesday there was
So,
snow. We had snow on Wednesday in some parts of the city.
not
Here,
here,
but
but
there were some parts of the city that had some snow on Wednesday, and here we are on Sunday. We're going to supposed to be like almost 80 today.
yeah, huge swings in temperature for sure, which I know for you, it kind of,
Oh, it just gives me a headache.
yeah.
I don't know about anybody else, but I get migraines, and not that often, but when I do get them, it's almost always due to like huge weather swings.
Yeah.
It's a trigger for headache people.
Headache people?
Yeah, people who have headaches.
People with headaches. All right. Anyway, guys, this is our regular Sunday show. Hello. I don't know anything new happened this week. We're still in doggy chaos,
Puppy mode.
chaos. It's getting better. It's everybody's like getting into their routines. They're great going to bed,
Yep.
not waking up until after 7, or at least not letting us know that they're awake until after 7, which
That works.
I'm
for
kind of
me.
like anytime after 6. I'd rather not have to get up at 6, but anytime after 6, I'm okay with.
Yeah.
It was just a couple of times when it was like,
We're early
4 in the
risers to
morning.
begin with, so yeah, anytime between 6 and 7 is fine. They've been waking up almost exactly like 7:15 the last
Yeah.
4 or 5 days in a row, which is
or at least that's when they're alerting us that they are.
perfect.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
perfectly happy with that. Yeah, not a lot. I mean, we delivered our check to the blind center on Wednesday, so that was nice. They always schedule it so that we show up when they have a full group of people there. They were finishing up bingo. We interrupted bingo, pissed off a lot of the members.
Nobody was mad.
But we got to see a lot of the members of the blind center as well as the employees, our favorite employees there, and deliver them a check from the charity auction that we held at the most recent Boss Reseller Remix. It was $12,637.
Whoa.
That was what we raised with the help of Storage Auction Pirate, who did the auction for us on Whatnot. All of you guys that donated. It was a great afternoon. I think it was about 90 minutes we went for that auction and sold every single thing.
Yeah.
And to raise almost $13,000 in 90 minutes for a nonprofit in this day and age when everybody is struggling right now and everybody is in need. I mean, I think that's a pretty good accomplishment. So
Yeah, for sure.
thank you everybody who helped us make that happen. Because as we've said, all of the items are donated and there's no fees. Whatnot waives their fees for that auction for us, so it was just a lot of time spent organizing everything, writing all the listings out and taking photos, but it was well worth it. So
Yeah, for sure.
thanks everyone.
Thanks. And so you and Trish have been working really hard planning out your road trip, the Vicky and Trish road trip across America. I don't know, does it have an official title?
I don't know what the hell we're
I don't
calling
have
it.
I don't have the graphics queued up this time.
I don't know what we're calling it officially, but
But
yeah,
you guys
we
have
have
been working on that.
our 10 stops in in a total of 13 days. They're all listed in the Katy and Vikki Facebook group. Again, we created a smaller Facebook group, which is listed below, for basically to dump all of our information about that trip and all of our footage. We're going to be
plans
filming
with
an
people.
awful lot, make plans with people, also let people make plans with each other that happen to be in the area. We're going to be having 10 meetups in 13 days. And the way that we're doing it is that we're piggybacking on top of existing meetups. We want to meet with the meetup leaders and their members, but also bring new members to the meetups. And we're also going to be creating a meetup in Chicago, right outside the Chicago area, Chicago proper area. We're going to be in Aurora, Illinois. And that one is actually going to be a big one because there used to be a very strong meetup presence in that area. And Rich and Nyla Sisak, I'm sorry if I'm saying the name wrong. They retired and moved away, so that meetup is defunct and has been for a while. But that also means that there's so many people there that we're used to meeting up and don't now. So we're hoping to get a bunch of them together and some new people, and hopefully someone will want to take over as a meetup organizer, and we'll teach them how you can make that happen.
Give the list of name of places real quick.
Okay, so we're starting off May 4th. And we're going to be starting off in Boston because that's where we are. So Boston, Mass. We will be
May
in
4th.
Boston. May 4th is Boston. May 6th is Silver Spring, Maryland, which is right outside of the DC area. May 7th, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. May 8th, Alliance, Ohio. May 10th, Aurora, Illinois, which is a Saturday. May 11th, Des Moines, Iowa. If you know anyone in Iowa, hit me up. So far, we are finding a lack of boss members or meetup members in Iowa. I'm sure they exist. We just haven't gotten the news out to them yet. I did have one woman answer my post in the group that was from the area. So hopefully we can, I mean, not that I won't get together with her, but I mean, hopefully we can get a few more than just two of us, you know? May 12th, Kansas City, Missouri. It's right on the line, the state line. May 14th, Denver, Colorado. May 16th, St. George, Utah. And also May 16th, which will be the evening, our last stop will be here in Vegas, and we will be doing our meetup here in Vegas.
So you're still putting together the final touches and stuff of all the details for that, but it's probably maybe like next week, I don't know, maybe we'll even do it instead of this show, but at the same time live. We'll probably do like a show with Trish where you guys can actually talk in detail about like where like dates and times and
For sure.
what's going to be going on.
We'll have everything like I said is going to be in the Katy and Vikki group, but also we're going to be posting it in Boss group. We'll be posting information, talking about information here, but we're going to try and get it out there as events because we're trying to get RSVPs obviously so that we have a general idea of how many people need in each location. I know there's way more than 20 to 25 members both in Denver and in Chicago area so far. So those would probably be the two largest meetups because they are the two largest existing area meetups and members that we already know. So, you know, we're finding, well, we have destinations set. The only place we do not have a place set for yet is in Des Moines because we don't know anyone there yet. Everything else, we already have a location set and we'll have the times and everything. But if you heard a city in that rambling that I just gave that you're interested in, just mark it on your calendar. Some of the meetups are going to be evening meetups and a couple of them are going to be daytime. So we'll let you know exactly when they are. And hopefully I can meet as many of you as possible. I know there's a bunch of people that are planning on going to certain ones that I've never met in person. And I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, just in case anybody was wondering what's going on with the baby, she's chewing on her little collagen chew. She likes it. And then Gizmo's in Vicky's lap right now, but she's napping.
She's napping.
But we got the puppy right here on the puppy lap.
And I'll definitely be asking a few of my local Vegas people to help us unload the truck prior to our meetup on the 16th. Anybody that is able-bodied and willing, everything's going to be boxed, and I feel if we create an assembly line, we can get it all unloaded into the space pretty quickly. And I hope because we're going to be dead.
Yeah,
we are going to be so tired at the end of this 13 days. Goodness.
all the dates will all be posted. And with the more information, you need to be in our Facebook group, which is down below, Katy and Vikki. Mm-hmm. You should be following. Vikki actually just changed. We've never had an official Instagram, but we just decided to switch over Vikki's Instagram to now it is Katy and Vikki on Instagram. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to answer Julie's question. So Julie, Denver, Colorado is Wednesday, May 14th.
Yeah.
That one's actually going to be one of the more interesting meetups. We are going to be meeting at the ARC thrift stores, and we'll be getting the backstage private tour of their facilities and how that works. We're going to have some snacks. We're going to go have lunch, and then we're going to go do a little bit of sourcing. Yeah. So you actually get a good solid at least half a day with Trish and I on that day specifically. That's one of the days that we have a lot of time in the city and we don't have to get back on the road. So,
but if you make sure you're in the Facebook group, which is down below, if you make sure you're following the Instagram, Katy and Vikki on Instagram, and then we're on TikTok. We also need followers on TikTok.
It would be, I mean, think we've got about 45 followers on TikTok.
But my point is, if you're following all those things, we will be posting all the details. Yeah. So everything will be posted, including, you know, where you can RSVP and stuff like that. She's just giving you the dates now so that you have a general idea to, you know, make sure that you are free that day if you're wanting to come and participate.
Exactly. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you very much. We have lost a lot of weight.
We have. I've lost 68 pounds total, and I think Katie's at like 75.
I think it's like 75. Yeah. And
We
it's
lost
funny
it.
'cause
We lost a solid adult human between the two of us.
we'll see. I'll see pictures from before, and I guess they say like with body dysmorphia and stuff like that. I just thought like yeah, I can lose a few pounds, but I've not ever been somebody who was like real hung up on my weight and like as far as my self image went, and so
You're the only woman I know that's not.
and so I mean I would be like, okay, I'm not feeling so comfortable in my body, or oh, I don't like the way my clothes fit, but I think I generally would look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I look all right. I look pretty good. And then I see pictures and I'm like, what? How did I not?
Apparently, we were both fat fucks. It's just all there
All
is
right,
to it.
that's not appropriate. But anyway, and for me, it was definitely more about the physical discomfort in my body, like and getting older and having bad knees and stuff, which now feel great. So it's definitely changed a lot for me, and I do like how my clothes fit better.
Oh, and I do have to say, if Lori Raths is watching by any chance, thank you for your suggestion last week when I was talking about the sciatica pain. Thank you for your suggestion to go to walk-in. I did go to a walk-in.
Well, we talked.
We did talk about
week.
it last Sunday.
Yeah.
I did go, and it ended up. It was well worth the copay. I'm still battling a little bit of the pain. A week later, it did come back, but not as hard as it was before. It's getting better.
We're doing a lot of different things. You've got those little pain patches that are basically like Bengay patches. So
I pretty much smell like somebody's grandma right now.
I told her, listen, it's not just old people that smell like Bengay. It's also athletes, so she can pretend like she's an athlete. I've got her taking
Magnesium,
turmeric supplements, and I also added a new peptide shot that she's taking daily, KPV, that helps with inflammation. And you're doing your exercises every morning and every
doing
night.
all of my stretches that
Yeah.
were recommended by the PT person.
Yeah, so I think all of it together is a multi-mode.
I'm strengthening this butt so that I am not
Yeah.
dead on a 3,300-mile road trip over
Yeah,
13 days.
pretty much.
Because for the most part, we've done really well at splitting this out and splitting the times up so that we're not driving more than 6 hours a day, except for 2 days. We have 2 days where we have 10-hour drives, and that's a long time because it definitely, even with breaks and all that kind of stuff, it's going to be 13 hours on the road at least. So that's, we have 2 days that are going to be hard days, and that's pretty much it. It's basically the into Chicago, and then there's another one leaving Denver.
Yeah.
Or going into Denver. One of those two. Those are the 2 days that it's going to be long drives. And Trish and I are going to be trading off driving. We joke
But you
about
got a couple
this.
days, I think, a couple places where you have 2 nights, so
Right.
you get a couple of rest days, or at least days that you're not
That we're not on the
driving.
road.
So that's good. Anyway, we're up to 69 followers on TikTok.
Woohoo! Look at us.
We're very rapidly approaching 1,000. Clearly, the main reason we want to hit 1,000 is so that they can actually go live on TikTok, because you have to have 1,000 followers in order to do that. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into our show. This is our regular Sunday show. We break it up into 3 parts. We look at our real numbers across all our platforms and then break down the costs such as fees, shipping, most importantly, cost of goods. And the middle part of our show, we look at our sales highlights. I feel like mine are real boring this week. I don't have a lot of exciting sales. I apologize. And then the last part of our show, we talk about our goals, what we wanted to do last week, if we accomplished them or not, and what we're hoping to do moving forward. So you want to go ahead and jump into this?
Sure. It was not. I've been 0 to 0. Last week was not anywhere near as good as it was.
There's no hero to
previous
zero
week.
for me, because I'm just
You're just
continuing
still
to
a zero?
terribly. Yeah, thanks, man. Anyway, it's been since the week before the remix all the way up until now with these dogs. Definitely having a harder time getting things done, but I was able to list quite a bit this week at my lower goal. But we'll talk about that more later. But it's absolutely affected my sales. So this is this last week ending yesterday. 27 eBay orders, 5 Etsy orders, 3 Poshmark orders, nothing on Grail, Mercari, and Depop. eBay 1,126.53. Actually, eBay is doing okay. Etsy's really where it's just not. I'm not doing great, and I don't know why that is. This year, this whole year 2025, Etsy has kind of taken a dive for me, which is a bummer. Poshmark $100. Total gross sales $1,431.13. My shipping cost $146.63, and my cost of goods roughly $105. So my total net sales barely squeaked over $1,000 with $1,004.46. I did manage to hit my $40 goal for gross average sale price. I try and get at least that much, if not more. And then net average sale price $28.70. So meh. It was all right. It was all right. How about you, Vicki?
This was not great. eBay was very, very slow for me this week. And same as you, I have not been listing very much the past few weeks. It definitely shows. 15 eBay orders, 13 Etsy, 5 on Poshmark, nothing anywhere else, for a total of 33 orders. That's about half what I should be doing. Just over $1,000 on eBay, $436 on Etsy, $152 on Poshmark, for a total of $1,633. Not a good week. Not a good week. Between the two of us, we just hit $3,000 for the week.
That's pretty low Etsy week for 13 orders.
Yeah, I had a lot of small orders on Etsy.
Usually it's the other way around.
And $141 in shipping, and then my cost of goods super low this week, thankfully. So my gross average sale price, so my net was just like $12.56 for the week. My gross average sale price just under $50. My ASP is still pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
And my net ASP $38. So it was just, here's the thing. For me, I have not sourced in a couple of months. I am listing a back stock of, I purchased 400 swimsuits. So I'm listing swimsuits and some really old, my only dead stock, which is some old dolls and doll clothes. That's all I've been doing.
So you're not like
I'm out of
activating those
jewelry.
other categories.
Right. I'm out of jewelry. I'm waiting for my next batch for my consignor. They're all listed so far, and I'm out of any other types of items. So I'm not using my lister right now. She is on hiatus until I need her again, and I'm not sourcing. So I'm not spending money on sourcing, and I'm not spending money on my assistant. So I mean, actually, I've made more money this week in the last few weeks anyway, if you think about it that way. However, you do still need to stay active in your categories to see some sales.
Makes it tough. All right, let's go ahead and just jump right into our sales highlights. What's going on with this creepy thing?
So I told you I've been listing creepy ass dolls. So I have some dolls that have been left over from literally 4 or 5 years ago. I did a huge estate buyout, filled up 2 trucks, and I listed all the cream of the crop, but I had a bunch of others that were dirty, or they didn't have clothes on them, or I needed to identify them, or they weren't in great shape, but they're still worth selling. They literally have sat there in totes for
money.
4 years.
Just money sitting there doing nothing.
This was listed for 24 hours. The only reason I showed is because, hey, list your frickin' death piles, people. Don't, Anyway, it sold for $50. I paid less than $1 for it 5 years ago. And then this actually went international to France. And again, I think I mentioned it last week. For whatever reason, eBay doing calculated shipping on international orders, they're calculating much higher than it actually costs. They've always done it a little bit, but this is a big difference.
Yeah.
Like this person paid $75 for shipping, and it cost me $30 for shipping.
That's crazy.
So I actually made like almost $90 on this doll that I've had listed forever. So yeah, list your shit is basically all I'm saying. That was a, vintage doll. Still dirty. I mean, I wiped them all, everything down, but I did not go and scrub this doll with a magic eraser and all the things that you normally need to do on older vinyl and rubber and plastic dolls. I sold it as is. I disclosed all of the stuff, and it's still sold.
Yeah. All right. Next up, this is just a fun sale. I actually got $25 for it plus $8.95 shipping. It's not vintage. I got it at the bin, so I paid maybe $3 for it. But it's the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. If you remember, this was kind of started as, I think it was like kind of around
Westboro Baptist. I think it was.
Well, it was kind of like around like religious rights and stuff where there's some rights that are afforded to like Protestants and mainstream religion and.
And the no taxation of churches. That was a big part of this.
Making
one,
up your own.
Yeah, making up
your
your
own
own religion.
But anyway, love it. And sold it for $25. I mean, I did some comping, of course, and nothing there sells for a lot. So getting $25 plus shipping is totally fine with me, and it's just funny to me. So
it is funny. This is just to show, and I think I might have shown another one a couple weeks ago, that Vera Bradley does still sell. It just depends on what the item is. The bigger items, the duffel bags, the diaper bags, the totes. This is a large tote bag. These carry-all totes, they still sell. This was picked up from, the estate of where I'm listing all the jewelry from. I did pay outright for this. I paid about $2 an item for all of those things that I purchased, and this is one of them. And it's only been listed maybe a month, and it sold for $60 plus shipping.
There you go. All right, next up, I love this shirt. I like these shirts that are like they're dyed with, let's see where it is, chili dyed. They have ones that are like chili dyed. They have ones that you can get
Mud,
where
like
it's
mud or
mud.
dirt.
Yeah, but this one's chili dyed. And I believe I got this from Jennifer, in which case I paid $5 for it. And I also love it because it's got the manta ray, buddy of the stingray, who stabbed me in the foot. But I just think it's a cool shirt. I like the spell out down the sleeve. And
Well, and Wyland is a pretty famous oceanography type artist too.
yeah, it's just a really cool shirt, and it did not sell for that price. But I haven't had this listed too long. I think it's only been up for like maybe a month or so. I sold it for $32. Somebody offered $32, and I'm like, yep, I'll do that. So $32 plus shipping. But anything nature related, and it's funny because you'll see I didn't even do this on purpose when I was picking out the sales to show you, but I think at least a few of the items that I'm showing you guys this week include our nature tees and or actually maybe 4 or 5 our nature tees and or specifically having to do with ocean life. So that is apparently very popular right now. So
You'll see a theme.
Yep.
Okay, so this was actually a pretty cool pickup. I picked this up in Whittier, California, actually, after our reseller cruise, I believe, last year. We stopped and did a little bit of thrifting with our friends Deb and Mel in Whittier on the way home from the cruise port, and I paid, I think, $6 for this. So it has been listed almost a year.
Yeah.
But it sold for full price. I wasn't running a sale at the time. It sold for
Nice.
$89.95. I just knew it needed to find the right person. It was an FM radio station in California.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's a cool little like
Varsity
varsity-looking sweatshirt. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, next up, travel stuff. I mean, I've had this for a while. I think I got this from Jesse.
That was one of your minutes when you were doing flat lays.
I know, and it went slightly faster, but I think the pictures look terrible compared to my other pictures. So, and I could never get the lighting to be even. You can see how it's like dark in the corner. So I really did not like it at all. It lasted for about maybe a month and a half. Anyway, this I sent out an offer for $40 and got it sold. So $40 plus shipping, and maybe paid $5 for it. Just a 90s dead stock Reno Airlines. I don't think Reno Air is even around anymore. I'm pretty sure. Oh, am I boring you? You yawning over there, lady?
No,
So
that's
rude.
the muscle relaxer.
So rude. Anyway, but just anything airline related, there are people who collect that stuff. So
Yeah, aviation stuff is hot.
and I always like when I find something that's like a little bit different. It's not just your typical like Southwest or whatever. So just a cool pickup. Woo.
All right, this was another jewelry lot that sold. I actually took an offer on this that sold for $260, which I thought was a very reasonable offer. This is all the costume jewelry that didn't have any individual value. I'm not going to say it didn't have any. It just didn't have enough for me to break it down. A lot of it is like mall brand, Claire's, costume jewelry. Some of it is, there's a few Betsy Johnson pieces in there, Coldwater Creek, stuff you get from, JCPenney or Claire's or whatever. But people that sell jewelry in general, breaking this up, it obviously makes sense for them. So, 150 pieces, and I'm counting earrings as a set as one piece, not individually. I know some people do individual pieces, which is garbage. But anyway, $260 plus shipping. It was listed for about a week.
Nice.
This is the leftovers of stuff that I'm listing on consignment.
Yeah, you couldn't possibly take the time to actually do everything individually. It wouldn't be worth it to
it's
you.
not worth it for items that are, a lot of those are like $5 items, right? If you have a flea market, if you have
Great for like whatnot
a
shows
booth, or you're doing whatnot shows, exactly. That's the type of stuff that it's worth someone else selling for $2, $3, $4, $5 each.
Yeah. All right, next up for me, just some good old Wrangler, and are you stretching over there, huh? That was a good stretch. Wrangler t-shirt or sweat. Why don't my words work? Right?
I don't know.
Wrangler shirt, flannel shirt. Sold it for $41.99. I think this is one that I got from Jen, in which case I paid $5 for. But pretty much nothing I have now I paid more than like $5 for, unless I got the bins, and then it was only like $1. But $41.99 plus shipping. I don't know. Wrangler doesn't do as well as it used to.
There's so much
some
of it.
Some of them that are more interesting, and like the brush popper are still going to sell for a lot. But just your basic pearl snap button up plaid Wrangler, but it's still kind of bread and butter, so it just takes a little while to sell it. So
Lorna
there's just
says,
a lot of it out
Lorna
there.
says words are hard.
Words are hard, Lorna. They are. I need a nap.
I didn't even know that you did Wrangler, which is why I thought this was pretty
that's
funny.
funny. And
The
then
only
right
reason I
next to
showed this is because most people wouldn't even pick this up. It's barely vintage. It's like 90s, early Y2K, sleeveless. It's women's. And honestly, it looks like someone's about to, I don't know, Midwestern go rope a bull or something.
Yeah.
But I paid maybe 75 cents for this at the bins. Very lightweight. And it sold for the price you see there. $35 plus international shipping. So I made at least another $10 on the shipping cost, which is great.
Nice.
It's, for $1, I mean, I'll take it.
Welcome to the future, Shelley. She was watching last week's show on her TV before she figured out.
Pirate Shelley.
Yeah. It's funny because I also sold another Western shirt this week. I didn't show it, but the sleeveless cutoff one that you got me for our trailer park murder mystery.
Yep, you sold it.
I sold it for $20 plus shipping. I mean, it wasn't vintage. It had cut off sleeves. Vicky just grabbed it at the bins
because
for
it
my
looked
costume.
rednecky.
For my costume, I have zero use for it now, and I sold it for $20 plus $5.95 shipping. Not too shabby.
Nope, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, so here's another one. Sea Life, Ocean Life, this humpback whale t-shirt. And I did sell it for $59.99. I paid maybe $5 for this. And I love the whale ones, as you know, and I sold one last week too. I love these Ocean Life ones with like the wraparound print that goes all the way around the sides and into the back. I just think they're pretty. I think they're cool. I love them. And I actually had to send this priority because the person who bought it was on their way to, I think, Bali. And they wanted to take it with them, I guess. So, but it is an awesome shirt. I love it. I've had it for a little while, but sold it for $60. I probably would only list it for 40 now.
Tracy is very New England Aquarium USA. It's not New England Aquarium. It's actually Mystic Aquarium. But Tracy's in the chat. I'm sure we've all seen it. We've all been to Mystic Aquarium 9 bazillion times. Every school field trip. Everybody that lives in Rhode Island, Connecticut, or Massachusetts has been there 500,000 times.
Yep. All right. Next up for you.
This is just a weird handmade type of thing that someone made. If you look at this, if you look at all the pictures, it is a like applique that they took denim, whether it was denim jeans or a jacket, they put appliques on it, they put jean patches on the front, but it's just a Hanes sweatshirt is where it started.
That's funny.
Vintage Hanes sweatshirt. So the base, the back, and the sleeves are the sweatshirt, but they could put in panels, I don't know. Ugly in my opinion, but ugly sells. So I only showed this to show you might look at things and go, who's buying that? I don't know who bought it, but they bought it. So $42. I picked it up at the bins, probably paid $3 based on weight.
All right. It's ugly.
It is ugly.
Here's another Sea Life ocean thing. For some reason, all of my Etsy sales, the wrong pricing is coming up because it'll do this thing where a sale will be over and I'll sell stuff not on sale. But then when you go to look at the solds, it shows it as what the current sale is right now. So this particular shirt, this one actually was on sale. Somebody used a 15% off coupon that I send for like abandoned cart or people that follow me, but still it's wrong. It sold for $41.64, not the $44.09 you see there. So it sold for $41.64. I mean, this one, I don't remember where I got it, but I can't imagine I would have paid more than a couple of dollars for it unless it was part of a whole batch of stuff from Jennifer, in which case I would have paid $5 for it, but I don't really remember. But it's pretty simplistic design, and yet somebody still paid over $40 for it. Anything, Hawaii and dolphin and, ocean related
Turtles
tends to do pretty well. So, don't ever pass it up. If you can get it cheap enough, and even if it's not vintage, if it's, something ocean life or Hawaii, it usually is going to sell.
All right, this is just a rayon type of blouse. It's, that lightweight rayon, not quite see-through, but very wrinkly. Picked it up at the bins. I did not pay even $1 for this. It's very lightweight. It's maybe 6 ounces. Vintage, 100% rayon. It just had, a funky pattern. And it sold for the price you see there, $42.
I'm having flashbacks because I was helping you find this and I couldn't find it anywhere because you put it in with men's shirts instead of women's because you hate me.
Yep.
All right. Next up, well, not exactly ocean life, but fishing. So I guess this kind of fits in as well.
Well, you have a theme this week.
Seriously, and I honestly did when I was pulling these to show. They were just my best sales. It wasn't like I was trying to go by a theme. This is hooked on
Phonics.
What does that say? Hooked on Summer Lake.
Silver Lake.
Is it silver?
That says silver. Silver.
Oh, it does. Whatever. It's still sold. And this one sold for $47.99, which means I've had it for a while because now I would those price points would have been $48.99. But this I probably would only list for like $35 now at the most. Sold it for $47.99. Maybe paid a few bucks for it, but I've definitely had it for a while. And yeah, don't you love it when you sell something and you realize that you
messed up the title?
You messed up the title. Although in this case, it probably doesn't really matter. Unless there's somebody specifically looking for a Silver Lake t-shirt and never found it because of this.
They could have.
You never know. But anyway, yeah. Continuing on with my nature, fishing, fish, ocean life, that kind of theme going on.
Yeah, we have a Silver Lake in Rhode Island too, but it's just a neighborhood within Johnston, Rhode Island. Okay, so most of you guys know I love hard rock. I love hard rock stuff. I don't really know why. I just do. But this is a vintage hard rock sweatshirt. It was made really nicely. It's made like a champion, those thick, really nice sweatshirts, cottony, not that fake material. So it sold for the price you see there, $56. This was an international sale as well.
Nice.
It's a really big sweatshirt, nice, big, and baggy. Had it been a little smaller, I would have kept it just because I really like it's pink and it's oversized and everything.
And it says hard rock.
But sold for the price you see there, $56 plus international shipping. So again, I made about $8 to $10 on the shipping as well.
Nice. All right, next up, look at this one has animals in it.
Man, you are like...
I know. I don't know.
That has the ocean. I see the
It's
ocean and dolphins.
It's got dolphins. It's got all kinds of animals, nature tea. I love this one. And this actually sold for $48.99. It was not on sale. I just remembered to restart a sale on Etsy, so I haven't had a sale going for the first 5 days of this month. So this sold for $48.99, and I paid maybe $5 for it. But I love these. I love all the nature teas, but I especially love the humanities are always really cool. So that's at least two of the ones I'm showing today that say humanities on them. But look at how cool it is. Look at all the different animals. They're very cute.
All right. Very cute. These were bins by. I always say pick these up. The certain ones, the tall ones, the Minnetonka, the Indian fringe boots. Some of them are newer. Some of them are older. These are still vintage. They're not super vintage. The older ones do not have a sole on the bottom. It is just the suede sole, so they conform to the shape of the foot. These are not as old. These are probably 90s. But they still make these styles. They've made them forever. You can find them as early as the 60s. The ones from the 60s are that lace up, that have just the suede sole, are probably the most desirable ones. And you can get about $100 for those. These I sold for $50. There was an offer on Poshmark. I was happy to take it. They were a bins buy, so I probably paid about $4 for them.
Nice. All right, you had your hard rock tee. I have it by Planet Hollywood, London. And again, this one sold for $48.99, not $44.09. I think I paid like $5 for this. I think I got this from Jessie, but I might have gotten it for Jennifer. It's hard
Either
to
way,
say.
you didn't pay more than $5.
I did not pay more than $5. But Planet Hollywood, London. I actually think I've had this for a little while, so this is more likely to have come from Jessie. But yeah, $48.99 definitely took a while to sell, but I like the Planet Hollywood stuff. And last one for you.
Last one for me is just something from my jewelry batch that I've been selling. This is just, I've been selling some of the costume jewelry as well. And like I said, but it has to be something that's worth over $50 for me to list it by itself. I think I have some listed $40, $50 and up. And then the rest I was bundling it all together. So this one sold for $52. This is Kate Spade. Super cute. I knew it was going to be a good seller, and I looked it up and realized that this particular set, the Kate Spade Leopard, sells pretty well. I think I may have had the only one listed. So, it sold for $52.
Yeah. Yeah, Julianne, I mean, you even if you're using pirate ship, you really should have the weight on all of your listings. Because of course it's going to make a difference of how they're charged. And so like for me, for instance, I pretty much have 9 ounces on all of my things, because I sell t-shirts and sweatshirts, and the way international shipping goes, there's one price up to 8 ounces, and then there's another price all the way up to 2 pounds. And so, it doesn't really make much of a difference, but I want to make sure I'm charging a little bit extra. And it covers pretty much everything. But yeah, so especially if you have like hard goods and stuff like that, you definitely need to have the weight of all your stuff. Doesn't eBay make you put the weight in now, or
I don't know. I've always put it in, so I don't really know.
I don't know. But yeah, you do really need to do that. But even if you're using pirate ship, you should want to have your weight in there. If you're charging for shipping, and international, you should be charging for shipping. All right, last one. Look at that, another nature tee. This is a really
Like the
cool
theme.
Really cool. It says, it spells out river, and then you can see the river and the rapids, and then there's a grizzly bear hanging out there with her little baby grizzly bear next to her. I think this is a really cool shirt. This is one of those ones where they designed it and made a bazillion of them, and then on the sleeve they're different. I guarantee you the same shirt has like other locations on the sleeve. I don't know how to say this. Chilkoot? Is it Chilkoot? My Californians.
I've never heard that name.
I have no idea. So, but yeah, they're just cool destination tees that are kind of like, just the names are put on them for the whatever location, and you buy them in a shop. But anyway, I love this shirt. It's really cool. It's a very, very cool shirt. So yeah, I guess I did a lot of nature tees today, and a lot.
You did.
But I guess that's what's selling. That's what I'm selling for. We've had people talk about the low sound the last couple of weeks, but then everybody else says it's totally fine. So I don't know if it's like a YouTube issue that only is affecting some people, but...
Or it might be an internet issue with only certain types of internet.
But it's only been happening in the last couple of weeks. So anyway, man, we blasted through that pretty quickly.
I know, that was fast.
That was fast, man. Anyway, this puppy has been chomping away. Oh, she's coming at me with the licks. Oh, Liz is having the problem too. Do you want me to start yelling? I can start talking real loud. You just need to deal with it. The people out there need to hear what I have to say.
No, they really don't.
Yes, they do.
It's not that important.
You are very rude. They're here. Are you telling these people that they shouldn't be wasting their time?
Whatever.
Anyway, yeah, so that's so weird. I don't know what the problem is, Liz. Anyway, tell me some people that you actually can hear us normally, because I swear every time I ask this, people are like, oh yeah, it's totally fine. So I don't know if like maybe YouTube did some sort of
It's lower on our channel than most.
That's so weird. Yeah, but then Shelly's like, volume's great on mine on her TV.
Tommy says normal. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Because we're still using the same mic we've been using for a while. We've had this Yeti mic for a while.
But clearly something has changed. I don't know if it's something with YouTube that's like some people it went out right for them and some people not.
It's been working fine with, like YouTubes and stuff. Not YouTube, sorry, Zoom calls and meetings and stuff, because I have a few meetings a week usually.
Yeah.
Weird. We'll see. I don't know.
Weird.
I don't know.
Weird. Anyway, so as far as goals, so last week my whole goal was to try and hit, 5 listings a day. And I did that for the most part. I did not do any listing yesterday.
Usually we take Saturdays off though.
Generally I try. Okay, no, that's not true for me. Like when I was doing what I wanted to be doing, had them scheduled out so that 7 days a week I was doing listings. So I'm still not back to that standard that I've been trying to hold myself to. And so I need to get on that, but I have stuff I need to take pictures of. You're going to be going to get a pedicure, a long overdue pedicure.
Oh yeah, I've got some talons going on. Going to get a pedicure, picking up my friend Dana, and we're meeting Danielle. And this is a thing we do every few months. We get pedicures, and then we go out for lunch or dinner. In this case, it'll be dinner. And yeah, just a little girls' afternoon.
Good question, Laura. Good question. Liz, have you cleared your cache though? Like for real? Maybe that's what the problem is. Anyway, so I need to take pictures. I did. I got like 4 boxes of stuff from Jennifer last week, and so I've been able to sort through one of them and have finished processing them, and they just need to be photographed. So I'm going to tackle some of that today after Vikki leaves, so I can get my listing done for this week. So yeah, so I feel like better this last week than the previous weeks for sure.
Baby steps.
Yep. But I need to step it up. Continuing part of the problem is that even though the dogs are doing great now, they're doing a lot better. The truth still is that the baby Matilda here in my lap, cannot really be left alone for long periods of time because she is a puppy and I'll leave her out with the other dogs for 15 minutes while I go do something upstairs. But if it's going to be longer than that, she gets put in her pen because she's a puppy and she'll chew through cords and she's definitely more chewy than even Ripley was. And so it's like you just can't.
Let me clarify. She doesn't get put in a crate. We have a puppy.
I said pen.
We have a play pen.
I said pen.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with crating. I understand that there are two different viewpoints on this. I personally am not a fan of crating. Wrong. I don't like crating, but I don't mind using the playpen to keep her contained and safe.
But because we're home, I don't want to just leave her in there while I work for hours or while Vicky works for hours. And so, but puppies are the nice thing about puppies. It's like they want to play for an hour, and then they usually sleep for a couple hours, and then rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat. And so, but that means that the day gets broken up quite a bit because it's like, I'll go down, hang out with them in the morning while they play, feed them. I see her start to get sleepy, and then I put her in her pen, give a treat to the others, come upstairs, take a shower, do shipping. And then at a certain point, the puppy starts crying because she's like, all right, I'm done with my nap. And
Come
then
get me.
I go down and let her play some more. So it's like I've been doing some listings on my laptop downstairs, but it's much slower that way. So there's just a lot more time that has to be taken out of the day to hang out with them.
Yeah. Not that we're complaining. It's just
it's just reality.
The work stuff.
It's just reality.
Yeah.
And so I would say overall, Gizmo's getting better. So I would say in the beginning it was probably Gizmo was more difficult. I would say now it's the puppy only in the sense that, like I said, it's a lot of our time during the day. It's like for probably like the first 6 months, you don't let your dog just have free reign.
She's a very good puppy.
She is.
She's a very good puppy. She's mostly potty trained. She'll occasionally get excited playing and then stop and pee wherever she is instead of going to the pee-pee pads because she can't go outside yet because she's not fully
for at least
vaccinated.
another few weeks.
She can't go outside with the other dogs. So she's getting there. And then Mama is more Katie's shadow than mine, actually, Tommy.
Yeah.
She's on my lap right now, but she's definitely, Katie has really bonded with her even more than I have.
Yeah.
But she's a very sweet dog.
She's very sweet.
She's a little less neurotic. She's getting a little bit better. She's getting easier to leave alone. She understands that when we leave, we're coming back. And I think that was the biggest problem with her. And now she knows that we can go upstairs and work, and it doesn't mean that we have left her alone. She does not cry when we come upstairs anymore. The puppy does.
Yeah.
She cries when we leave the house.
But even the puppy hasn't the last couple nights.
She cries when we leave the house when she sees us going out the door. But even that, if we give her a treat, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. I know she settles in much faster now. So
I give her like a dried sweet potato, or I have these sweet potatoes that are wrapped with like duck jerky. And so she actually knows that if I'm going to leave for an extended period of time, she knows she's getting a treat on the way out, and she's very excited about that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so the puppy, I would say, is not hard, but just time consuming.
I mean, it's not like having a kid at home, right? I mean, a lot of you guys have lived and worked through having children at home and grandchildren. Jill has her grandchild there all the time, and she's working 2 jobs, for crying out loud. So, I mean, this minor bitching we're doing is nothing compared to people that are trying to care for humans.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's bitching. It's more just about we work from home, and you're your own boss, and you have to set your own schedule, and being productive, you have to be able to focus, and it just kind of all gets thrown out the window when you have major changes in the house, like new dogs.
Yeah,
so.
When your routine is thrown off, and you have to change your routine to accommodate someone else.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, we're getting better at it. Like I said, I haven't sourced in a couple of months, so I don't have a ton of exciting stuff to list. I'm hoping to get a new batch of jewelry this week that'll give me some things to do. I'm really bored listing swimsuits. I'm not going to lie, they're not exciting. Not very interesting, but I mean, I will get through them. I paid for them. I bought them. I've got to get them listed and sell some of them, at least to get my money back. Mm-hmm. And the doll clothes and things, I've been listing and selling dolls, not selling them for a ton, but you saw that one good one. And I just have to get through them all and get them listed. These are my goals, to get the swimsuits and the dolls listed. if not all the swimsuits, at least half of them listed before I leave on the 29th. That's the goal. I want to have a lot of stuff listed because when I come back, it's going to be more of the same. I don't see myself being in a regular listing schedule until probably 2 to 3 weeks after I come home.
Yeah.
Because then I have to figure out how to organize and put away 4,000 more items. So,
I mean, I'd say as far as listing jewelry goes, jewelry pretty well.
Yeah,
so.
See, here's the thing. It's not vintage jewelry, so I'm not having to research and being able to screw up things that are not labeled properly. Vintage jewelry is a different animal. If it doesn't have a label on it, I do not know it well. I can tell decades. I understand decades and styles and construction, but I don't know, like, if something's Coro or whatever, if it's or Trifari, if it's not listed and doesn't have the logo on it. So it's not that vintage. So in this case, most of it is just, I do understand jewelry. I do know jewelry. In fact, I sold fine jewelry when I was younger. That was one of my first jobs. So at least I understand gemstones and, cuts and styles and things like that. So that I'm not finding very difficult. The biggest issue I had when I did this first batch was the sheer volume.
Yeah.
Sheer volume of going through thousands and thousands of pieces and separating them into categories and like items and things like that, and inspecting every single piece to see if it was sterling or gold or marked which, what type of jewelry. So a lot of that was the time that it took, but it's selling quickly.
And you have a decent background though in jewelry, which if somebody's like trying to jump into jewelry and you don't know anything about it, I could see how it could be super intimidating. Yeah. You have the eye and you have the understanding of, like, you can look at something and know pretty quickly or be pretty sure, like, oh, this is just costume or this is...
I can tell, but right, and then you just have to look at everything with the loop to see it better. Well, I mean, some people don't need a loop. I certainly need a loop because I'm blind as a bat and I can't see the markings. But as long as it's marked, I can, pretty much figure stuff out. So I've gotten better at it for sure.
Yeah. So... so for me, for the next week and moving forward, I'm just thinking about this when Vikki leaves on this trip, and I'm going to have 3 weeks. My sister, Binky, might be coming to visit for a few days. That hasn't been solidified yet, but kind of in the middle of my solohood here. But I want to I've got like over 200 pieces that need to get photographed from Jennifer. But I'm also thinking, like, I'm going to have that 3 weeks. So I actually need more stuff because what I have now is probably enough for like the next month, which is not enough to go into that and have anything in my draft bank. And so I'm going to probably...
you still want to go sourcing and stuff with you.
Yeah, but not a whole lot. So I might be like scouring the internet for some good bulk buys, good t-shirt bulk buys and stuff. So I'll be doing that. This baby's getting tired. I don't know. You got any other goals of like what you want to get done before you hit the road? Here, you can take this puppy.
Honestly, I don't. I have, like I said, my biggest goal is to get through this back stock of dolls and doll clothes. And then once I'm through with the dolls and the doll clothes, get, if not all of, a lot of these swimsuits up and listed. And they're very easy to do. They're all new. So it's like 3 or 4 photos. You're not measuring swimsuits. And I'm putting them through list perfectly. I'm using the Express Lister and the AI. And I've got to tweak a title here and there, a few words. Sometimes they pick it up as a large instead of a small, even though the tag's there. It is what it is. But it takes me 2 minutes to do a listing from scratch on the swimsuits. They're just boring as hell. Mm-hmm. That's all. I don't find swimsuits interesting.
Yeah, you definitely like the jewelry a lot more.
Yeah, I have not minded doing the jewelry.
Yeah.
In fact, doing the bulk lots, I was originally going to sell the bulk of the costume jewelry to another reseller, and then I realized I can get more for them selling it online, just like for the same way.
Yeah.
Takes more time to count the pieces than anything else.
Guys. Here's my chair.
So yeah, it's I'm not listing anything exciting right now, again, but I have to get through this backlog. This is going to be a very slow start to the year for me. I think January and February were halfway decent. March was meh, and April is not looking great. I think I'm going to be real slow for the next 2 months, my sales and everything, just because I have so much other stuff to do. But in doing that, all this work that I'm doing to do this road trip, to bring back all of Diane's inventory and integrate it into my own, is going to set me up for an amazing second half of the year. and not having to source for the majority of this year is going to save me a ton of money. So that's really it.
I mean, I'm definitely a little bit frustrated, disappointed, beaten down. Maybe not that harsh, because like the end of 2023, November of 2023 was when I started doing my 10 listings a day, 7 days a week. And so I was going strong with that through almost half of last year, before I did have, a few days here and there that I would miss. But I did really strong with that last year, and I saw the results. And here we are already in April, and I feel like I've totally dropped the ball on that this year, and gotten it so out of that routine, and I'm feeling it. And so part of it makes you like, when you fall out of those, and I love a routine, but when you fall out of a routine, sometimes it can feel so to make yourself get back into it, and especially when you have so many different things going on. So
Tommy, resell them back to Susie. Who do you think I got them from, Tommy? I bugged Susie for months to buy a bunch in bulk.
Yeah, now you're getting a big baby bag. That's like when I bought like a ton of hats from our friend Jerry, and then I was like, oh man, why do I have all these hats?
Yeah.
What am I going to do with all these hats? And then I ended up selling them back, some of them back to him.
Did you
really?
really?
Funny, yeah. So
that's funny. I'm not going to sell them back to Susie. She was happy to get rid of them.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not difficult to list them. It's just boring as hell.
Yeah.
And that's my own fault. But yeah, it is very difficult to stay motivated when sales are slow. That's very
you know what
true,
though?
Susie.
My sales aren't as slow as they should be for how badly I've been performing.
Oh, mine are.
I'm just saying they're not great, but they're not as terrible as they should be. And I'm like, I need them to be more terrible so that I'm at least motivated to like get back on the saddle. But look at this baby. Look how cute she is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's definitely my baby. Mm-hmm. It makes Vicky a little bit mad sometimes.
Katy stole her.
Yeah, I can't help it. So, but this baby needed like a lot of structure, and I am the one that comes down every morning and does all the routine stuff and feeds them and takes them outside and stuff like that. And she really needed to have that kind of structure to make herself feel a little bit more comfortable. And so she definitely looks to me, and she loves you too. Like she goes and snuggles with Vicky. She's just as affectionate with Vicky. It's just she gets a little bit more panicky, or has in the past, when I go somewhere.
Yeah.
So
she's got a Velcro dog.
Well, she's not totally a Velcro dog though, because she doesn't need to be on you all the time. She wants to be in the same room. She wants you in the same space as her so she can keep an eye on you. But she's okay being like on a different couch or on the floor or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
She's not. Now, Ripley is an absolute Velcro dog. Ripley wants to be touching you at all times.
If you're in the room. But if you're not in the room, she doesn't care.
Right, she's okay.
So, yeah, we're getting there. It's like we have 2 new babies at home. That's really what it is. It's 2 new babies, 2 new toddlers. And, yeah, thank God we're too old for kids. And there's no kids at the house anymore.
But look at how ridiculous this baby is right now. Actually, one of the best things that's been happening this last week is Ripley and Gizmo are becoming good friends. Ripley's been playing with baby Matilda this whole time, but she was a little intimidated by Gizmo because Gizmo would kind of snap and snarl at her if she thought she was playing with Matilda too hard, too rough.
She would protect
at the
her
very
baby.
beginning. At the very beginning, because she didn't know Ripley. She's like, so she didn't trust her. But that meant that the first handful of days, Ripley got kind of, taken to task a few times, and it kind of freaked her out. And so it took a little bit of time for them to kind of warm to each other. And it started with them playing a little bit in the backyard. And now it's like this morning, it was a full-on half-hour straight of them crazy playing, racing all around. You wonder why there's so much fur on the ground.
Oh my God, the fur.
Nonstop wrestling and playing. So Ripley, ultimately, like, yes, it's a lot to get 2 new dogs, but ultimately, like, we got exactly what we needed, which is for Ripley to have friends that she could play with. And now she's got 2 of them.
I will tell you, I clean these floors every other day to begin with in the rooms that they're in, the main room that they're in, downstairs, kitchen, family room. I clean the floors every other day. I could clean them every day, and it is still, I am picking up at least enough fur to clothe another puppy every day, because the fur literally is flying. The way that they play, they're all shed a lot. So yeah, if you're allergic to dogs, don't ever come to my house, because you are certainly not going to walk away without fur on you.
Yeah, and we didn't know how good we had it with all these black dogs, because now we've got this little blonde one, and I'm sure the other dogs shed just as much, but you really see it with the little blonde hairs everywhere. So
For sure.
yeah, no Roomba. That's how you get poop smeared around your entire living
You can't
space.
do a Roomba when you have animals.
Yeah,
Oh God, no. Have you ever seen the Roomba?
unless they are very, very, very well trained,
And they're only
they don't
go outside.
Yeah, so our dogs, obviously the puppy can't go outside at all, so she uses puppy pads, and then the rest of the dogs use the puppy pads
Intermittently.
intermittently because of the weather here. When it gets hot, they can't go outside in the middle of the day. So that Roomba would not last a day without
I can't even
smearing
imagine.
poop over our entire living space.
Nope.
It would be horrible.
Nope.
But yes, this baby is very cuddly.
I know cats ride on the Roomba. I've seen that. I've seen those videos. Dumb cats.
Anyway, we're going to wrap up this show, guys, so Vicky can go get her talons filed down.
I mean, nobody wants to see these feet outside of shoes right now. I'm telling you.
And
Paws and claws, kids. Paws and claws.
be on the lookout. We'll either do an extra show, or we might just commandeer next Sunday's show and have Trish come on here. I haven't told her yet this is happening. But
You just tell her.
But we'll probably do it during our regular show, just because this is our main show. And next week, and actually go over like what the week's going to be like, or what the tour is going to be like, and,
Yeah.
and locations, and all the, have all the links to everything in the description of the show and whatnot, so everybody can come back and look and see where they need to be and where they need to show up.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of you in person that I've never met before. Like we've always said, you guys are already our friends. You're just stranger friends until we meet in person, and then you become friends. So we're excited to see a lot of you guys throughout the country. This is our first time doing something like this. Obviously, it's necessary. We'll be picking up Diane's inventory and driving it across the country. But if this goes well and people really love these meetups, this won't be the last time. We may do regional meetups where we're going to go and do some thrifting and create meetups in certain areas going forward. Probably not anymore this year, but maybe starting next year. So we'll see.
Yeah. Tommy, you shut your mouth.
Listen, they don't just pee anywhere. You can go barefoot. The floors are clean, I promise.
They just get well, Vicky is like seriously Swiffering twice a day, every day.
I promise you, our floors are clean.
They're
I mean,
clean.
I guess if you're blind and you don't see a pee-pee pad, then you could probably step in something. But
Yeah,
and those are changed 10 times
Gizmo
a day.
is the cutest, and she is the cuddliest, and she does this thing where when you pick her up, it's like, I don't know what happens. It's almost like her brain shuts off and she's kind of melts into your arms. And then she's turned into like a little rag doll, and you can pretty much hold her any way that you want, and she just goes with it. But she is a very good little lap dog.
It's a good snuggler.
She's very, very cute. Very sweet.
All right, guys. I guess we're gonna go. So I hope you had a good week, and hope you have a good week coming up. And we'll see you next Sunday.
Yeah.
Go make some money.
I hope I do.